Oh! Oh, I wonder how off-center my camera is, actually. That's a good point. Let's soon find out. Yeah, Alien Week starts 16th. We'll talk about it in a minute. Bam. Hi. Right. This camera's fine, right? Well, there's a hole. That less of a hole. Perfect. Hi. How is everyone doing? Hope you are doing well. I'm BoredGamer. I'm going to be talking about Star Citizen and whatever else you want to talk about. We had like a Starfield trailer, which me and Sin talked about on a podcast, which is probably going live later today. Quite an in-depth sort of discussion about what we know about Starfield and how that compares to Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, and it doesn't compare well. Like as in, there's not really comparisons you can make of the games in any way, so that's tangible beyond their space games, and there's lots of different things going on. They're not competitors. That's what I'm trying to say. In the same way that Squadron 42 and Star Citizen aren't competitors. But it was an interesting one. I was interested by what I saw, but not overly impressed. There was some cool stuff in the Starfield trailer for sure. Building ships, building bases, and the just huge, expansive exploration of it all. However, it's sort of like a more empty version of Mass Effect. What it looks like currently. I mean, and the problem is we don't have details yet of, like, they said you could explore one of the thousand plus planets, and you could land anywhere on that planet. Okay, how big's that planet? What's actually there? Is it just resources and emptiness? Or is there lots of interesting stuff? So really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to more information. But I'm regularly burnt by Bethesda games. I'll certainly be getting it and trying it out. No bikini spacesuits for you, bro. So buddy. How you feeling, man? I've got the tail end of a cold. So I was feeling pretty good on Friday. I was like, I might try and see if we can go to the Bar Citizen. But then I developed earache, and I went, nah, I'm gone. And I've still got earache, and all my sinuses are sort of like super blocked, unfortunately. I was worried that it might be COVID and that sort of stuff, but I tested negative repeatedly for it. But I didn't think it was going to be fair, even if I felt reasonably good, to travel while coughing and potentially infecting people. Really wanted to go to that Bar Citizen. Zinda as well, she's got quite excited about it. But we'll go to others in the future, for sure. So, there's a lot to talk about today. And I suppose if you want to ask a question during the live stream, question in brackets. The live streams are mostly driven by questions. I have a few topics that I sort of roughly want to talk about. So like Starfield, but obviously Alpha 3.17.2, that should go into testing, I believe, later this week. We've got Alien Week as well, and that starts on the 16th, so on Thursday, and we should start to see Alien Week stuff. And there might be some new ships and vehicles, but there is going to be lots of celebration of alien ships and alien ships on sale, at the very least. And Banu Merchantman things. So they're going to start showing off some more of the Banu Merchantman in the Inside Star Citizen, sort of as part of Alien Week. So they sort of themed all the this week's releases and new shows on Alien Week stuff. It's really hot here. So I'll be drinking water continuously. And apologies if I sound blocked up or I blow my nose or anything. I am, as I said, ill. Yeah, Banu Merchantman stuff on Thursday. That's what in Inside Star Citizen. Is Alien Week a free fly event? Not as far as I'm aware. There'll be sort of some competitions and things. Typically, there's like a cooking competition, probably a screenshot competition. Alien ships will be on sale, and they might release a new concept or vehicle or ship, or something straight to playable. With those a few unannounced things that Plan Imperium have been working on. I think the other thing that's exciting probably this week is 3.17.2 going to testing in some form, and we're certainly just Evocati. And that 3.17.2 patch does have a lot of cool stuff in it, with sort of those new Reclaimer derelicts that they're putting missions in. There's there's sort of Reclaimer settlement that's going to be there as well, so a slightly more built-up area. I'm trying to think, like 3.17.2, there's probably other features as well that they're going to start talking about that they haven't shown off yet, that are probably more minor ones when it comes to balance and some missions and stuff. We know there's going to be some illegal delivery missions, and so they're expanding out a new sort of reputation with Redwind that will give you some questionable delivery missions, and then start to go into more sort of illegal ones that will have good risk versus reward. We know there's going to be combat assist beacon updates, so there's 10 difficulty levels of combat assist beacons. That's quite interesting for me, at least, because that allows me to jump in and know sort of what difficulty that I'm getting and who to bring with me and what ship to bring. We're getting more space stations around the verse, sort of filling in areas where there's not currently any, where there should be some. I think the planetary navigation stuff's interesting because that's essential for having NPCs move around planets and eventually be able to drop off reinforcements and pick people up and move around the planets as if they're players, sort of thing. But that's coming to the new Reclaimer derelicts who've got better AI basically in that area, and then more able to traverse and move around using planetary nav mesh. Anything else major? I think it's just the Siege of Orison, isn't it? The other thing. So the only other major thing, and it is a big dynamic event, is the Siege of Orison, which is that FPS, mostly FPS event around Orison, where you're sort of fighting the Ninetales to push them off their floating platforms there around Orison, and you're sort of like trying to push to kill the big old leader or bosses in each of the floating platforms, but then push to the main platform and take out the big leader there. There should be a good amount of time invested, and a lot of people can get involved, and it should be on relatively regularly. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll see a lot more improvements from the testing. I'm not sure if people saw much of the tests. They sort of were a little broken and needed some love and polish, and then some beyond that, some balance. But I'm sort of looking forward to all that sort of jazz. What do we got? Got some mustache, citizen. Will you be growing a fine gentleman's mustache? Oh God. What's this for? Why am I doing this? Do you want me to grow a mustache? Is it for charity or something? I've been slightly out of sorts recently, as I've had quite a bad cold, and so I may be a bit confused what's going on. It is a Half-Life t-shirt. I think Half-Life 2, and Half-Life before it actually as well. I think Half-Life 2 is probably the best game ever made. Yeah, that's my opinion. And Half-Life is probably, before that, was the best game ever made before Half-Life 2. Have you tried some type of mushroom to treat your anxiety? No, I'm pretty good with my anxiety without any form of medication, and I'm not sure what's legal or illegal in the UK, unfortunately. So it would cause me anxiety. Like, I'm sure that some doobie, some splifter would probably be pretty good in limited quantities. However, it's not legal in the UK, at least for anxiety purposes. One day maybe. But I'm pretty good without just self-management. It's just sometimes some days it's a bit too much. Like, it's I've realised as well that, so I effectively, the doctors sort of used to think I had PTSD, but it's not. It's sort of paranoia. So it's paranoia and anxiety sort of coupled together. At least that's what I think. It's really hard to diagnose these things, and there's lots of I reckons and what works for you when it comes to mental health. At least that's my experience of it. Yeah, I've realised a lot of it is sort of more paranoid thoughts that sort of cause me to have this weird anxiety sort of breakdown or whatever. So when I was in Redacted and Saurus and the artist previously known as Twerk, Salty Mike, were sort of working with me regularly. they had to, and Nubifier actually, they had to deal with me when I was really bad, like really paranoid, really depressed, really anxious, and especially Salty Mike and Nubifier, out of a load of the other content creators. Oh, there's lots of them that were fantastic. They really helped me. I talked to Nubifier's wife for like an hour or so, and she was absolutely fantastic woman, and really helped to sort of sort my brain out. And Salty Mike has always sort of just been there, just and real, and sort of doesn't tell you necessarily what you want to hear. He tells you how he sees it and what he thinks, and that's a fantastic thing. But they helped me out a lot, and now I can manage significantly better than I previously did anyway, because I've got better management techniques, and I know that I'll be better in the future. But yeah, so people that don't know, I suffer quite badly from anxiety. It sort of disables me sometimes, but it's manageable, like genuinely manageable. And I sort of I've been, when especially when I was younger, I was very manic. I was very bipolar. So it's a lot better now. Sarge! You beautiful boy! What? What's going on? But, Sarge, you're a beautiful boy. How many subs did you just gift? 50 subs! Oh my god, Sarge. So Sarge, I hadn't talked to him for a while. I talked to him in Discord a minute ago, just saying, he messaged me just saying, oh, sorry I didn't get back to you. I've been doing some, is it Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay stuff? Cool, roleplay. He's into his sort of immersive stuff, and he loves Star Citizen as well, but he likes it from more of a sort of like a developer point of view of, oh, why are these bugs happening, and how could they do stuff better, and I had a fantastic conversation with Sarge on my channel a while ago. It's one of my sort of most viewed videos, I think. It was sort of like break down some of Star Citizen and talk about the problems with it, and what because he is a massive Star Citizen backer. He has so much money into the game, but he's sort of quite realistic and critical of the project at the same time, which is absolutely fantastic and refreshing. But I was just talking to him a minute ago and said, how are you, mate? And now he's given me 50 subs. I love you. You are a beautiful boy, Sarge. But my brain also forgets what to call you. Sometimes it's Sarge, and sometimes I just, you'll get random names, however I feel at the time. Oh, you beautiful boy.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I love you. I love you. Thank you very much. It's very appreciated. I didn't realise that had happening. I was off on my own little rant world. Thank you very much for all the subs as well from other people. I see other people have been. What is this? Thank you. Appreciate it. It's going to go on for another several years. And oh my god, I can't say your name. Randalom? Randalom? Thank you very much for the gifting loads of subs as well. That's very appreciated. You beautiful boy. There's a giant hype train, level 5 hype train. I don't know what a hype train is. How do I... Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. You guys are legendary. Sarge, I did want to talk to you properly again at some point, and get your thoughts on just some Star Citizen-y stuff, because I like your opinion on things as a sort of whale, and I don't mean whale to sound rude or anything, but I see it as a sign of respect. It is what it is, isn't it? You put a lot of money into the game. I give your opinion, especially when you're critical, a lot of weight. And it's obviously a bit of different from other people's opinions. There is someone mowing the lawn outside my house, so I apologise if you can hear, which is how I mow the lawn. I don't even have a mower. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've got my emails up on my screen. Right. Let's try and get back on topic before it gets to... I'm sorry, you're going to have to just deal with, for several more years, it just going, saying that people have subbed. I think we'll get to walk inside of a Banner Merchantman. Well, when it's completed, yes. I mean, they'll show off some of the grey box and some of the more developed areas, but it's going to be a while before the Banner Merchantman's in game. I think it's maybe CitizenCon we'll start to see some more areas and a bit more detail that people will go, oh my god, this is looking awesome. But it's a big ship with complex mechanics. And it's alien as well. Mm. I appreciate all the love and the kind words. I wasn't hugely impressed with the Starfield. I know that some people are asking about Starfield. With the Starfield stuff, I thought it looked all right. I thought it was interesting. It's certainly something I want to play and I'm interested in. Did Zin get a cold too? She's got hay fever. Me and Zin, we're not partners. Her partner, that she lives with, is one of my best mates in the world as well. And there's no relationship between me and Zin beyond she's one of my best friends. Hopefully, I'm one of hers. She did say when we were at my mate Kit's wedding together, because we were on the head table at the wedding. This is funny actually. We were on the head table at the wedding, but her partner wasn't. So the guys that were running the wedding, sort of like the caterers and stuff, assumed that me and Zin were partners as well. And obviously we talk and we're pretty good mates, so it looks like we are occasionally. But someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, your partner's looking for you," and pointed at Zin. And I went, "Zin, BoredGamer wife!" So we just sort of know each other as that now. It's I don't know. It's a silly thing, but she's got hay fever. She had Monday off. What else have we got? What have we got here? Do you think we'll see 3.17.2 this week or next week? Going into testing this week, almost certainly. Premier Boris, how do I unsub? I'm being held hostage by good content. Thank you very much, Premier Boris. I appreciate the hustle. You are legendary. Thank you. So many people. Well, now I've got 1 billion. Oh my god, you monster. Oh, why are you like this? Forever. It's going to be on my next stream as well. It's still going to be sitting Sarges. Oh, you're a monster. What do we got? What do we got? What do you think the final price of the merchant will be? Around $1,000. That's what I think. It's got, it's big. It's been made a little bit bigger. It's a very complex ship. It's going to be sort of unique in the fact that it's more of a trade/floating market as well. Although you could argue that the sort of Kraken privateer has a similar way of doing things, but it maybe is just on a larger scale. Same post-lockdown cold everyone's getting. Yeah, kind of it looks like, doesn't it? I haven't played in a few patches. How's performance recently? So performance for me has been fantastic. I play on a Razer laptop, so performance is a big factor. It depends on what Razer laptop you've got. The newer Razer laptops are amazing. So within the next, by the end of the year, a lot of the Gen 12 stuff should be in, and a lot of the potentially Vulkan support will be in, or starting to get there. So that should make the game a lot more performant on a lot more range of systems, and give you graphics options to be able to actual fiddle with that a lot more. One day, oh, there's so many subs. Why are there so many? Why have you done this? Oh, one day. I do that. Is that still? Does that still play for you? I think I've disabled it. Yeah, temporarily disable it. The visual similarity and lack of new space games on the market, should CIG developers get the lead out so they don't lose out to Bethesda and their mod community? I would love to see mod support for Star Citizen even now. That would have been amazing if they had started with mod support. They'd gone, look, we're going to sort of expose that engine to you. We're going to expose that stuff to you. And that's how I would have sort of released Star Citizen. And I wouldn't have a sort of playable game in the same way. I just have lots of disparate things that you can mod. As sort of Des put it in, but that's more how my brain works in chaos. That said, no, I don't think they're going to lose that to Bethesda at all. If you look at, okay, let's show some of this stuff off, okay? Starfield official. So let's put this up on the screen. So, for example, you've got, I'm going to use the GameSpot video here. And so go and watch it on their channel if you want to see the trailer. So you've got the structure. Now, the biomes, they look reasonably good. Yeah? They look nice. I think similar to sort of Star Citizen's sort of style. No Man's Sky, sort of pretty looking organics and rocks and stuff. Much of a muchness, right? There is alien sort of flora and fauna around as well. You've got to remember this is the thing they chose to show, so probably the most refined and vertical slicey they've had some mining going around, some resources, but so this is very much sort of No Man's Sky Eve to me. Now, this is one of the sort of locations they decided to show, and it looks very modular, very similar to a Star Citizen module, just sort of stacked on top of each other. There's a ship that looks a bit like a cutlass. Now, these cutlasses, these ships, you can make them. And we go, what, would you just make them? You can just customize them however you want. Just put modules on them, chuck bits on them, chuck your weapons and your components on, make the ship long, make it fat, whatever. So that's quite interesting. I think a lot of people will be pretty excited by that. But the actual cities and everything, they look just modular and quite sort of all right. Typically, Fallout sort of games have been fantastic at sort of the narrative storytelling of an area. So you go to an area and you're like, see like a little scene or a vista and you'll be like, oh wow, I can actually see the fight here and there's some weird stuff going on here. So hopefully they'll be able to capture that. Something I'm really excited. Hello, Todd. So got City of Eden. Is it Eden? So I was not too impressed by this city. The trees don't look great, but they can probably improve that. They sort of look a little bit weird. It's hard to do trees, but it looks like an early sort of drawing of Star Citizen without any of the polish, sort of like of Horizon. Yeah, you've got the sort of. I just think it looks quite low detailed and quite repetitive, and it looks like it's a small scale that's been blown up. Is the way I describe it. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't too impressed with this, but it's early days. They can make it look a lot better, I'm sure. There wasn't too much going on. It's sort of like I don't think I'm a huge fan of the engine. Is one of the things. It's a Creation Engine 2, so the advanced version of their Creation Engine sort of iterated on. I mean, it looks right. It just doesn't look amazing. And you compare it to like Horizon as now, you go, well, Horizon looks amazing. And this is sort of like a bit more, I don't know, blocky? Lower quality textures? Do you know what I mean? Is that fair? Am I being fair? Characters are alright. Interesting. Gunplay didn't look amazing, but it didn't look terrible. There's lots of animals and things like that. I thought were pretty cool. There's 1,000 planets to explore. And they went, you can land anywhere on a planet, but we don't really know the scale of a planet. So there's sort of structures and stuff that you can find. And you can obviously scan, as it shows there. So you can probably find stuff and land near things. Or you can land elsewhere and travel to them. We don't know if there's cars or vehicles that you can drive around in. Probably. I look at it and think it's very Mass Effect-y. There's some cool looking things. And it's going to be more handcrafted than No Man's Sky originally was, for sure. It is a RPG. It is a sort of story experience, and they're going to be that's their drive. And I thought, yeah, it looked pretty good. There's space combat. There's building of ships. There's building of bases. Let's see if we can find the base building. Sort of the building in ships, I think. Yeah, you can make the ships quite long and interesting. Let's go over here. So there's sort of stats and skill trees and stuff. There's crafting. You can craft lots of different things. Have to keep you sort of mods. Lots of interesting enemies to fight. And you can sort of survey and build. They build outposts. And then you obviously use those resources for various reasons. I quite like the idea of that. And you have lots of different outposts, it looks like. And then hire people to work in those facilities. Little robots, love the little robots and the Trundle boys. It's the spaceships. You sort of can also build and mod your own spaceships. Just like the look of all this sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's very Star Citizen because Star Citizen's borrowed all its ideas from all the other sci-fi tropes. So you can have your own crew there, but it is a single-player game. It is a single-player game. Single player. And I do expect it to probably not be as in-depth or pretty as Star Citizen by any means. It's coming out first half of 2023 now. It was delayed from, what was it, October it was supposed to be this year, I think, originally. And we can customize make ships. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, you're not going to have sort of like the same tailored designs as Star Citizen, but I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's lots of repeated assets. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to have incredible detail like Star Citizen does. You want to be able to release a game. You want to be able to release it in a timely manner, and you want to have a lot of content, and you don't necessarily want to procedurally generate it, but procedurally assisted and reusing of assets is, sensible in any situation. Star Citizen does it as well, just to do it at a bigger scale. Great. So Starfield is built on the same engine as Fallout and Skyrim. So isn't it just an iterated, improved version of Creation Engine? What new alien concept do you think we're getting? I don't know. So we could have a new straight-to-flyable ship or vehicle or concept. There's a lot of cool alien stuff they could do, for sure. Some more alien industrial stuff would be nice. But they could do something bigger. And they could do a Corvette-sized... Oh my god, can you imagine a Corvette alien ship, combat ship? People would go mad for it. How multiplayer is Starfield? Not multiplayer as far as we are aware. They have said it is going to focus on the single-player story experience. Have you seen this Eve versus Star Citizen Lego thing? Yes! So there is a... I'm going to turn on my alerts again. There we go. You broke me, Sarge. You are a beautiful boy, though. I absolutely love you, mate. What a man. What a man. What a man, what a man, what a man. Don't know why I sung that, but I did. You've got it now. So let's bring this up. Battle of the Bricks. So EVE Online and Star Citizen having a Battle of the Bricks. Making Lego models. Now, I'd be willing to buy other people's Lego models. I haven't got the time. I mean, I'd love to. I haven't got the time to get involved in actually building them myself, I don't think. But I love the idea of to help Extra Life, who are a fantastic charity. Extra Life. I love the idea of just building Star Citizen ships out of Lego. And Eve and Star Citizen both building ships and having a bit of friendly competition, I think is a great idea. Because why not, eh? What do we got here? Gonna jump to... Oh my god. My feed is just destroyed. Sarge is perfect. I appreciate it. It's good. I think it's cool, Sarge. We'll chat when I'm actually awake. Yeah, no worries. No worries, buddy. How did the hype train get to 660%? The result of significant rigging of the hype train system. I don't know. It's madness. Any expectation for Alien Week? A new chip or concept? Yes, I'm expecting something, but I don't know what. Plastic Death. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed your bar events and stuff. I didn't get to go, unfortunately. I had a cold. And so the other thing was, me and Zim were trying to work out a way of getting a couple of rooms there in Manchester. But there was loads of gigs and music festivals on at the same time. Loads of stuff happening in Manchester. So a room that would have been £60 a night was £400 a night. And I'd had to get 2 of those. So that'd have been like 800 quid as well. So I was upset that I didn't get to go, especially with the amount of devs that went down to Manchester. But we'll be doing our own event up there soon anyway. And I'm still stuck with the baby and grounded from all fun beyond our town. Congratulations on the baby. And good man. Next time, Gadget. No, I thank you so much for for the big old donation as well. I genuinely appreciate that. That's absolutely amazing. I should stream more often. I'm sorry I've not been streaming so much recently. It's a mixture of anxiety, cold, and just generally being busy. I think I'll start talking about this on my social media and on my channel, maybe on my channel updates. But I'm living with my mother at the moment because I was obviously looking after my dad when he was passing away, and but now I'm like, right, it's been almost a year now. And I need to start actually looking for getting my own house again, my own place. Right? I just want to buy a house. So next year, I'm probably going to buy somewhere, and I'll talk to people about it. I'll get some opinions because I'm not sure whether I should go for my forever home. Probably not. Maybe I should just go for somewhere I want to live like for the next 5 years. And the housing market's a bit weird, but I'll get some people's opinions on it. I just want to make somewhere that's not too small, but just a nice little bungalow that I can make into like a little holiday chalet would be lovely. Work, have everything opened up so my kitchen and my living room are just like the same thing, and maybe even work in there, and then have a couple of bedrooms, so a couple of 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and then sort of have flip down beds so I can have my mates over to play board games and stay over for like a week or whatever. That's sort of what I want. Cough mixture. Money, not beer. Appreciated. Yes, I'm not going to be drinking for at least another week or two. I do feel pretty rough and dehydrated, even while glugging water down. Darth Churchill, thank you very much for the sub. And Plastic Death, thank you very much for even more money. I don't really know what I do to deserve money. I mean, I appreciate the hustle on YouTube. I get money for ads, and I get money for like NordVPN stuff that I promote. Great. But the sort of donation money, I don't feel I deserve it, but I'll take it anyway. Okay, maybe it's imposter syndrome. Don't care. Like money. Thank you. I do appreciate it very much. It allows me to sort of buy hardware. That's what it goes into. I've seen some random content creators start to come into Star Citizen now as well. Some larger ones, or some ones that are sort of more hype-based ones. They seem to be focusing on Star Citizen as like the main game. So hopefully we'll see more and more content creators sort of brought into Star Citizen in this way. Is Scott Manley tweeting about Eve vs. Star Citizen? Almost certainly. I quite enjoy Scott Manley's take on certain things. Will Starfield have giant sandworms? Almost certainly, Jag. You will probably get your fix of star sandworms from Starfield before Star Citizen. But Star Citizen ones will be better. Do you think we'll still see the Odyssey come out before the end of the year? No. I think the Odyssey, if they're able to work on it, will sort of be mid to late next year, if it's a priority for them. I'd say Scott Manley has been tweeting about it. Cool. My money's on Eve. Oh, Scott Manley. I think Star Citizen. It will be easier to make those Eve ships because they're less detailed. And what else have we got? So many people. Sorry, I'm very behind on questions, but I will get to them. What do you think the fun... we talked about the match a minute ago. Do we know when to expect the roadmap to be updated for Q4 and early 2023? So after 3.17.2 comes out, you'll see the roadmap updated for Q4, but only the upstream teams. And then a little bit later on, you'll see the downstream teams added to that. So that's things like VFX and finishing off a lot of things. So you don't get a full view of what's in Q4 until a bit later. What will Vulkan and Gen 12 change? So, Gen 12 allows for lots of different sort of VFX and optimizations and performance boons, and lots of moving the way the renderer does things onto different sort of multiple threads for processors, uses system resources much more efficiently, it can have more going on the screen at once. It will also generally sort of cull things better, and it refines the whole system. You'll have graphics options that you can sort of tweak because of that. Vulkan graphics API allows a lot more of the same, but it's slightly more GPU orientated. But that should improve performance significantly and allow more on screen, better looking stuff. So you'll get more performance on a wider range of systems and graphics options, and Star Citizen should look better and perform better. Any idea how much the Corsair will be? How much it will be? I can tell you how much it was when it was last on sale, or how much it is valued at the moment. What am I doing? I forgot what I was doing as I was doing it. Store, that's what I want to go to. So if you want to know how much a ship is at any point, sort of how much it's currently valued at, it might go up in the next sale, but you can always just go to the ship upgrader on the store, and then just type in the name of the ship you want in all ships. It'll sort of tell you the value of it. If we're going for Corsair, $215, roughly. I mean, sometimes there's war bond things going on. I think that's pretty good for what that ship is. That said, let's get it in game eventually. It is very much in concept, although they're building it out. It's getting a lot of work. I'm glad I brought water. So people think that $900 is sort of where the banning merchant is going to end. Yeah, I think around 1,000. Have you ever tried legitimate piracy? Robbing Hatanite miners, holding up cargo haulers? Not really. I've participated with orgs doing some piracy stuff. I'm going to blow my nose over here. I apologise. But actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute. Me and Zin were playing Core Keeper the other day, and we were sort of recording it at the same time. Sometimes I chuck it on my sort of exclusive stuff for my channel members. There's actually quite a lot of stuff we actually need to start putting out for that. We've got already pre-recorded. And I had was off push to talk on comms. It was just broadcasting, and I blew my nose into my microphone. It was she made a horrible sound of. I'm so sorry. I forgot. What do you think about the Argo SRV? I think it's an important sort of tow truck. We'll start to learn a bit more about when we know more about the cargo mechanics in 3.18 and beyond, we're going to have sort of tractor beams and bigger scale tractor beams and sort of like the ship scale tractor beams for the SRV in game, and then they're going to start talking about ship weights and all that sort of stuff as well. So that's super important. Sketch therapy. I've become an avocado. It's almost avocado. Almost. Yes, it almost certainly will be this week, in my opinion. Congratulations on being an avocado. Congratulations. It is a chore, but it is... you love Star Citizen, and you're willing to help out, then good for you. An honour and a try. Will Starfield feature NPCs standing on chairs? Probably not in the builds we see. My voice sounds a bit better. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I do feel a lot better. I do have this sort of earache, though, unfortunately. When do you think ship models will be introduced? And do you think the medical modules will be available for most all ships? No, I think they'll be available for some ships, and I think you'll be able to get some medical sort of stations and sort of temporary medical things, or stuff that you might be able to hold medical equipment, and then you could just stock it. And in the same way you could stock it in your sort of own inventory. So maybe some medical stuff for some ships. Now, we know that they want to put the Retaliator base in the game relatively soon. They're sort of working on that, which suggests to me that they want to get Retaliator having modularity, and then they'll expand that out to more ships. But we don't have a date on that yet. I do mow the lawn by just growling at it. Yeah, that's actually how you should mow the lawn, right? Any thoughts on capital ships? When will we get more? I don't know. Are you talking about added to the actual game, or are you talking about on concept, or sort of both? I want to see more capital ships for sure. I like the large scale of Star Citizen. I suffer from anxiety, PTSD, major depressive disorder, and all sorts of issues. Pot works well, makes me stay stable, and therapy, talking to others, similar issues, is always a staple of recovery. Obviously, state and country willing, sort of legal things that you can do, great, and I think that helps a lot of people. I'm glad that works for you, and I'm sorry that you suffer from. I'm sorry for anyone that suffers from anxiety or depression or general life. Life is hard, eh? In terms of anxiety, I listen to relaxing music and breathe better, which slows down my thoughts. Also, sometimes if I'm busy at work, I use CBD. Okay, cool. I can't necessarily endorse anything like that, unfortunately, because it's largely illegal or sort of pushed out of my country or against terms of service and YouTube stuff, unfortunately. But whatever works for people, as long as you're it's legal in the UK. Okay, nice. I'll have to check some of that stuff out. With the visual similarity and lack of new space games on the market, as we talked about earlier, I'll talk about that. There's Alien Week normally start on the 12th. Sort of 11th or 12th is sort of First Contact Day. But they'll start Alien Week whatever they fancy. 16th this time. What else have we got here? What's your best guess, no matter how inaccurate it might be, when the star winner will have purpose and features implemented, data running, and smuggling, I mean. So smuggling can come relatively soon after 3.18's cargo refactor. In fact, I think they're probably going to... Well, 3.17.2's got more illegal delivery missions. 3.18's got the cargo refactor. So sort of late to mid next year, sort of late this year, mid next year, they could potentially have a smuggling in a reasonably good place. And potentially like shielded scanning things and all that sort of jazz. So maybe around then for that sort of stuff. Data running, they just really need the UI for it, in my opinion. So the UI would allow you to then store data as cargo. I think that's probably not too far off. It's just going to be when they've got the resources to do that. I've not been painting any Warhammer stuff recently. I've got half of my Soulblight Gravelords Age of Sigmar army, because me and my mates were running an Age of Sigmar campaign, which sort of abruptly stopped. But I've got half of that still to paint. Also, Heresy stuff's 30k, Warhammer 30,000. The sort of Horus Heresy stuff sort of started to be talked about again. And they're releasing a box set and things. So I might do a Heresy army at some point. I've got a giant Canicus and Knight army, which I need to build. A load of Cerestus knights. How's your D&D game been going? Excited for Spelljammer coming to 5th Ed. So, Yeti, I haven't been there. So we had to call off a couple of sessions, and I missed a couple. So I'm sort of out of the loop. We're doing it Wednesday, so we're doing it tomorrow evening. We're starting again. We're going to D&D. Looking forward to it. I've sort of missed a couple of sessions out, unfortunately, and due to illness and work. It's a little hard to talk, unfortunately, still. Star Citizen's grown by like 400,000 people since December. There's been a lot of growth with Star Citizen. This year's going to be a ridiculously large, record-breaking year when it comes to finance for Star Citizen and the amount of money they generate. And we'll talk more about that later. In some videos and stuff, I'll be breaking down a lot of this stuff. Alien Week, according to the This Week in Star Citizen, is starting this Thursday. Corsair's making good progress. Might we see it Q3 regardless of when 3.18 releases? I think we could see it at the end of the year. I don't think it would be a 3.18 thing. It's possible. Possible. It's just typically these ships, especially the larger ones, need a bit more sort of polish. When does 3.17.2 hit? Roughly at the end of this month is when it's going to go live. Roughly. And then 3.18 will start its testing cycle relatively close to the end of that. Right, well, thank you very much for the raid, the host. Very much appreciated, sir. So 3.17.2 should start testing this week. Probably go to wider testing end of next week. Maybe, if you're lucky. For first wave at end of next week, if you're lucky. Maybe it'll be the week after, though. Yeah, thank you very much for Summer Yeti and Sketch Therapy and my other mods turning up and helping, and beautiful people like Sarge just giving me money. You guys are lovely. Yeah. Classic Death, you're a genuine legend as well. Yeah. Thank you. Can people gift store credits to another player the way one can gift a ship? I know you can buy... No. The way you do it is you'd buy a cheap ship and upgrade it. You buy a cheap ship with real money. Then you'd use store credit to upgrade that ship. And then you should still be able to gift it. As far as I'm aware. Or UI and data inventory of some kind would be needed for data running tier 0? No? Yes. After that, hacking and some other tools for data and so. So you might get deeper hacking and Moby-Glass hacking and some of the hacking mini-games before you get data running and the UI for data as cargo. Depends on the way the Clan and people want to do it. Because they'll probably want hacking for Squadron 42 and gameplay that will go into the persistent universe, but they don't need data as cargo for Squadron 42. Do you see what I mean? Prophet of Truth. Hope you're doing well, man. I'm doing pretty well. I'm feeling a lot better after recovering from my guide. I've gained some weight because I used to go for an hour run for a day, and since I got ill, and I've been ill for over a week, I've not been doing any running, but I've been eating more. I've been like, oh, yum, yum. Probably because I'm a little bit bored, and it's sort of like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. I'll eat. Have you watched the Astartes part 1 to 5 short videos? I've seen the first 2 parts a while ago. I'll watch the others. I know they're amazingly well done. What surprise concept do you think we might see, if any, for any week? I don't know. There's a few unannounced things. As I said, I'd love to see an alien corvette. Sort of give me a larger scale alien combat ship, or even a larger scale alien anything. Is the Orion landable? That probably not. It's too big. The Orion is the giant mining ship that doubled in size at least since its concept. It probably can only dock with space stations. It is supposed to be an asteroid strip miner, basically. I don't think that's a dumb question at all. It might be landable on some planets. I doubt it, though. You're sincere, consistent, persistent, and diligent. Makes modding for you a pleasure and an honor. Oh no, thank you so much. No, I give my my mods nothing. I don't expect anything, but you constantly go past those expectations. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. You guys are amazing. Thank you. You can't turn store credit into gift cards, though, can you? I didn't think. So when can we realistically expect Squadron 42? We don't know. So they realistically, end of next year. Like I was hoping we're going to see it end of year since like 2017 onwards, every year. But they haven't started. So when they start talking about it again, when they start doing like an advertising campaign for it, that's when you know that it's going to be out at a certain time. But the last 10% of polish for Squadron 42 could take a long time. We don't know. We literally don't know. Cloud Imperium are playing it very close to their chest. You keep me much more interested in Star Citizen than CIG does. Well, they should pay you. Well, I mean, I get paid by people watching me and donating and sort of YouTube ads and people using NordVPN from my links. And that's all sort of super awesome. I do genuinely appreciate that. I wouldn't want Cloud Imperium support beyond being reasonable to my requests. So if I can ask them questions, I hope they answer. If I want a studio tour, I hope they give me them when they're appropriate. They do send me... they give me the ability to access ships early sometimes in sort of playtests, and which is great. That's great support. And sometimes they give me ships for a giveaway. But I want to be able to be entirely independent from Cloud Imperium so I can talk about and criticize the game and be hyped about it. And you go, well, I don't want people to go, well, Bored's paid by CIG, so he can't have an opinion on that, or he can't say certain things. I need that freedom. And I think my channel works because I love Star Citizen. I love the project and the community, warts and all. And it's sort of important to be able to criticize bits of it because how else do you give feedback on the stuff that you don't like, or when Cloud Imperium do wrong? They're not a paragon of perfection. They do things wrong. You need to hold them to account for the things that they do wrong, or even things that I just think are wrong or I don't like, and you can talk about that. And I think it's important to have a platform where you can talk about all the different sides of something, sort of freely without sort of worry about repercussions. I think hopefully my channel is somewhere that people can do that. I'm hyped for Star Citizen. I love Star Citizen. I think it's great. I think they do stuff wrong occasionally, though, and I think people have different opinions to me, and those opinions are maybe not as valid. I'm willing to discuss them, and I'm willing for those people to have different opinions to me and go, you know what? I respect your opinion. You're allowed to have a different opinion than me, and I don't think you're dumb because of it. Maybe I do. I don't know. You can think I'm dumb. It's all good, isn't it? It's all reasonable. I'll be civil. I plan to buy a home within the next 1 to 2 years. I think that Squadron 42 will not be out before I make this purchase. That seems fair. That seems fair. Good for you. When will they add this new slower combat model? So the next couple of patches. So I'm expecting to start seeing it in 3.18. They could tweak some of the numbers in 3.17.2, but yeah, so for people that don't know, they want to make jousting less of a thing, and they want to bring space combat closer together so that it's not necessarily slower, but your speeds are slower, or at least you're incentivized to stay closer to each other rather than joust. ASMR nose blowing stream. Oh my god. Ugh. As I said, Starfield is not multiplayer, unfortunately. I like the second interview with Level Cap. Do you think the increased publicity from guys like him and Jack Frags is a good thing? Star Citizen is not ready yet for mainstream, but it's ready for. Apologies for any of the weird sounds you can hear outside my house from the mowing of lawn. It is ready for as much attention as people are willing to give it, as long as they are aware that it's an alpha still, and there's a lot of cool stuff with it, but it needs a lot more work, and there's a load of improvements that sort of ergonomics and tweaks and stuff that would make it a lot better as a playable experience now, but it doesn't have those yet. So it's a live development product. It's very interesting and unique. It's extreme early access. So is it a good thing? I mean, it is for... Yeah, I suppose it is a good thing, but there are some downsides to it. It's going to disenfranchise some people that thought it was better than it is. It's going to make the community potentially bigger than it... It might give it growing pains, because it might get bigger a lot quicker than it is, than it should, or would organically, naturally, before it's ready for prime time. Or it's ready for the sort of mainstream, which could sort of dilute the community into sort of more extreme or polarized parts. I mean, it's great financially, and it's great for more feedback. Yeah, more attention for Star Citizen is good. I expect a wipe for 3.18. What do you think? So full persistence would suggest to me that they probably need to wipe the databases. That's not necessarily 100% true. So I'm expecting that a wipe is possible for 3.18. Yeah, that's my my special speak, my double speak. That's what we got. Yeah, I've got an interview. Me and sort of Level Cap did a little podcast where we just chatted about Star Citizen, talked about he's just coming out of the Star Citizen honeymoon period, but he really loves Star Citizen, really interested in it. He wants to sort of support it and do content on it and talk about it. But yeah, it was an interesting conversation. 142 is going to crush Starfield, in my opinion. I hope so. I hope that 142 is going to be a fantastic game. Really looking forward to it. But I think that Starfield probably has more hours of gameplay sort of to toddle on and to sort of do, like a really chill Mass Effect. Hull C, do you think we'll see it in the next year? Within next year, I think that it's almost ready. That Hull C, I think we're going to see it very soon. Yeah, it's so a lot of the stuff from Starfield. I always I was burnt by Fallout 76. I did enjoy Fallout 76, but it obviously did not live up to its expectations. What else have we got? Do you think CIG sees Starfield as a competitor? No. I think they see it as another space game that they'll look at and take some ideas from. It's a single-player game, so it's not really competing with Star Citizen and all that. And it's sort of more Mass Effect and No Man's Sky-y. But I don't see how it would compete with them. Would it take away any of their market share? Maybe fractionally in the short term. Will it then have more players looking for something more and potentially introduce to the industry? Yeah. So is it a competitor, or is it actually something that is a gateway to Star Citizen? When do you think we'll get the new Star map? I know they're working on it. Don't know when we're getting it. Sort of revised, upgraded, updated maps and Star map. When's the room system coming? And physicalized armor and components. So physical armor and components is what I'm really interested in. The room system is partly already there. So they just need lots of updates and tweaks and things to make it work properly, for sure. But physicalized armor and components, that is something that Cloud Imperium really need to get their arse on and actually get done. I'm expecting it within the next sort of 9 months-ish that they'll start to actually get some of this in-game. They are going back through the ships at the moment and making sure that the older ships have all the areas and places they need for those physicalized components. Then they'll start to bring them in the game. They didn't give us any hard dates, unfortunately. Physicalized armor and sort of is quite easy to do once they have physical components in. They talked about it on a recent Star Citizen Live. Starfield planets looked familiar. Were behaviour involved? I don't think so. I don't think behaviour are involved. But it's space exploration, isn't it? Much from muchness. Tell you what was wiped out recently. All my bloody crypto. Fortunately, I didn't have too much in there. But it was a good. Lost like £20,000. Well, I haven't lost it yet. I'll just wait. I have to wait a few more years to be able to get it back up. It was a bit heartbreaking when the crypto market crashed. That made me sad. Not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's all good. Star Citizen is Starfield on hard mode and with multiplayer. Hopefully they'll fix a load and tweak a load of the ships and do some balance changes in 3.17.2. Should be in a good state, 3.17.2, in terms of performance and bugs. Hopefully they'll solve a load of those issues there. With the persistence and all stuff staying where it lays and let it fall, how much time do you plan to use to do janitor work on your ships? So I don't think everything's going to permanently be on the ground. I think there will be a importance and clear up system. How does that stuff follow you in the first iteration of full persistence? So is it going to be based on sharding and the replication layer, and it sort of pulls around with you with your character, or does it try and put you back on the same server? Sort of, we don't 100% know. I will, however, be going around landing zones, following people that drop cans and food and putting it in bins. I do think that we'll see a server open 3.18, or at least it's likely. I heard there's an open job position in Heston Dynamic. Would you want me to apply for you? I don't know if you answered this, but do you think Starfield will deliver on the promise of 100 systems and 1,000 planets? Yes, I do. But I think that those planets will be not too huge, and they'll have a lot of reused assets and will be mostly empty. Mostly empty, I mean, you can have like forests and flora and fauna, but it's sort of like semi-procedurally generated. Procedurally assisted. Can they literally balance ships into physical armor and components? So, yes, but it will be temporary balance. It will be temporary balance even after they put physical components in, because every time they add new weapons and every time they're going to be working out how components work and stuff. But yes, they need to get physical components in as soon as possible, because it makes balancing a lot easier and makes the final models for like flight and combat and everything a lot more close. So they can actually go, well, actually, this is going to be quite similar, even if it's not finished. It's going to be similar to what we have at the end. I don't know why they haven't got it in yet. To me, it's one of the most important things they need to get in. So we might see a 4.0 and Pyro sort of early playtest at the end of the year, like Evocati 4.0, maybe, but it's more likely to be rolled into next year. Did they ever talk about Corpse getting storage in set spaces? Not really, and we do know that like after the sort of cargo factor, there will be persistent habs and persistent hangars eventually, and you'll be able to buy space for hangars and like in the cargo deck and stuff like that. So that's probably what you're sort of talking about. Won't be too long. It would be great to have BoredGamer as a quest-giving NPC in game. Well, you have me as a quest giver in the game, not as an NPC, as a player. I mean, I'll be giving quests. I'm asking, based on how robust the contract system is, I'll certainly be doing quests. It's great. You can say over this stuff like that. It'll be great to have this person in game. Hopefully they'll play the game then, because then they literally have them in game. What things do you recommend to do before a big wipe or patch? Spend all your money, have a bit of a laugh, buy a ship and test it out. Nothing really I recommend. Same thing I recommend doing now. Nothing at the moment is going to be kept when the game resets properly anyway. So just have fun. Use your money as you see fit. Don't worry about the risk so much. Your prediction, will the missile system change materially for the introduction of the class? And if so, how? Oh, so the ability to track and shoot down missiles and torpedoes would probably be more of a thing. And scanning and threat detection might be more of a thing. Don't know when point defense systems are coming in, but they're going to be part of AI blades. So it does depend on how this stuff comes in and when. The missile system will still be very similar to what it is now, though, in my opinion. Fetch me a cup of tea. Earl Grey, lukewarm. When do you think the modularity of the Caterpillar will be worked on? So I'm thinking that they actually, because they started talking about the Retaliator base, I think they're going to be doing the Retaliator base and then modules for the Retaliator, and then the Caterpillar relatively soon afterwards. That's my expectation. When can we expect a higher staff for ships? We don't know. After they finished off the AI blades, so sort of modules that allow you to have semi-automation of some systems, sort of automatic turrets shooting down missiles, torpedoes, shooting fighters that come in range and stuff like that. Then after that, you'll have NPC crew, but it will be a while. Oh my god, yeah. Fetch me a cider. Oh. Shifts in Frankfurt at the Bar Citizen led me to believe that fauna, ships, and many features are being held back for Squadron 42. Okay. Do you think people will last another 2 years waiting for Squadron? Yeah, I do. Because you've got Star Citizen now, and there's a load of news coming out about Star Citizen constantly, and they do put out a major patch all the time. I mean, people will still be willing. A lot of people that play Star Citizen, that love Star Citizen, are interested in Squadron, but it's not the focus of their interest. I do hope that Squadron 42 is a fantastic game. Thank you very much, BB Gaming. You are a legend. Thank you, sir. Do you think destroying an AI-controlled hull C full of cargo could affect the cost of that specific cargo at the destination? Yes, it will, but it depends what you then do with the cargo, and it depends. It might only affect it fractionally, depending on exactly how much cargo is, the size of whatever else is going on. But that will all drive the economy in the Dynamic Universe sim. Siege of Horizon, when live, it's going to be live with 3.17.2 or very soon after its release. And you can expect that to start testing, probably with like Just Eva Carty later this week, 3.17.2. And end of the month is roughly when 3.17.2 was wanting to be live. But no, it's Star Citizen. Sometimes it moves around by a week or so. Right. Any thoughts on capital ships? I personally own a Constellation Taurus. I'm thinking of upgrading to a capital ship, but I'm not sure if it's worth a long term or not. I mean, you can always get it in game. Do you have a crew and people that you want to fly it with? Do you want to fly it with NPCs? Some capital ships are awesome. Depends on sort of what capital ship you want. I mean, I really like the Perseus, for example. But I mean, there's so many capital ships I really enjoy. Love the chat. Thank you. I'm a big fan of Unreal Tournament, Half-Life 2 and Half-Life. I think they're some of the best games ever. Give me that Perseus. Braziel, thank you very much. Now I'm remembering, not Soul Blade. Soul Reaver. Oh my god, such a good game. Sea of Cain. Oof. You think we'll start to see them talk about all the creatures like space whales and all of them coming soon? So I expect we're actually going to start seeing space whales around Crusader, but they might not be visitable locations. They might just sort of see them in the background. They literally have them as like a clever rock flying around. We'll start to see Boron game, in my opinion, next year. But let's wait and see. As someone said earlier, they got the impression that some of this stuff is being held back for Squadron. Are you worried about CIG's recent focus on new players? No. I'm okay with them doing some focus on new players, as long as there's not a huge amount of focus. But the first 30 minutes of the game and some entry missions and actually hand-holding and an introduction to players playing the game in the game is a great idea. Is there any way to exit the game more than just exit the game promptly? What? No. Alt F4? Turn off your computer? I don't know. How close are we to seeing Squadron 42 release? We don't know. Clan Imperium keep it too close to their chest. End of next year, maybe, hopefully. Question mark. Right. Will the Argo cargo have the possibility to transport cargo containers instead of its cargo module? I don't think so. I think it's very small scale cargo, unfortunately. Want something like a raft. Some newbie question is... That's what we just talked about. You're looking at a space rail right now? Well, no, I'm not. Now I'm looking at was a Constellation briefly. I think it was a Taurus. Right. Space whale! Right. I'm going to go in a second. You are regularly not worried about Star Citizen things. Is there anything you are worried about? I don't know. The implementation of full persistence and 3.18. I mean, how there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong with that. There's a lot of problems that they could have with server meshing and stuff towards the end of the year for sure. But not really. I mean, I'll take the game as it comes. They're not the best with release dates, and the game is slow burn development-wise. But there's a lot they are constantly doing. I think there's obviously a more of a industry worry as well. They're expanding their studios out at the moment. They're getting a huge studio in the UK, the new Manchester studio. They're expanding their Frankfurt one as well. Now they're going to start to need to hire a load more people. Talent's hard to get at the moment, especially with the change of sort of people wanting to work from home. Clan Imperium do have a reasonably good working from home policy, but they do want people to come into the office and sort of they have that creative juice flowing with their sort of campus that they've got there. So are they going to be able to attract talent, keep talent, and maintain talent without it sort of flowing out at quite a large scale? That's a bit of a worry, I suppose. I'm thinking of getting a Tobii eye tracker, but need to know, is there much of a learning curve? It's pretty easy to pick up. It's awkward to start with, but you'll get used to it pretty quickly. And then you can use it for a lot of different things based on what your needs are. Bored, if I ask, how much have you spent on Star Citizen? Around $3,000. Probably close to 4,000 now. Have you heard anything about the modular compartments for the character? No, there's supposed to be up to 3 modular compartments, or sort of you can put up to 3 there, replacing its cargo things, but we don't know what we'll be able to actually put there yet. I'm going to dash off. I'm going to find someone on Twitch for you guys to watch, if you so wish. I'll rally you there. I'm going to be putting out a... I'm going to chuck you at Maya. This is a beautiful baby boy. I love you, Maya. But I'm going to get my podcast out that I did with Zin, sort of comparing Starfield to Star Citizen and Squadron 42 in a bit more detail, and talking about how they're not really competitors. And I wasn't hugely impressed with Starfield, but I still think it will be quite a good game. But yeah, so that'll come out a little bit later. I do appreciate everyone being here today. And thank you very much for people like Sarge and Plastic Death donating ridiculous amounts of things to me. That's beautiful. And was it Randalom? Randalom? Yeah, Jericho Piskin. All of you, you're beautiful boys. Thank you very much to my subs. Thank you very much to my mods. Thank you very much to all the other acronyms or whatever truncated names. But yeah, if you've got any feedback for me or Zin, rich@boredgamer.co.uk, email me on there and get me on my Discord. You can just leave comments under videos. If you want to further support the channel, you can donate, you can become a Patreon, you can use that join button, you can just comment on videos, subscribe and like and all that sort of jazz. That really does help. People driving the channel and its content by just sort of commenting and getting involved really helps. And thank you very much for allowing me to vent about sort of mental health stuff and anxiety and being ill during my live streams. It's very much appreciated. I hope you have a great week. Alien Week starts on the 16th. Hopefully we'll see 3.17.2 go to some form of testing as well. And yeah, some cool stuff. Love you guys. You take care. And I'll see you in the verse. Peace. Raid.